else?
I don't have anything.
There's no action for either of those items,
No,
is
but
there?
I was asking, did anyone else have comment, question, or whatever?
No, sir.
You could accept
Yeah.
the list if you'd like to take some action, that'd be the only thing. You're not approving.
I think he's gonna do that in a minute.
It will actually be
So what
B
is
and
it,
C.
what is it that we need to do?
You, I mean, if you wanted to
Except
accept
item C.
this list of take-home vehicles and lease vehicles as presented, you could, almost like an independent audit, but there's no action necessary.
Okay. And what about item B?
Same, other than if we got direction from the motion that was made by the mayor pro tem to bring back some information about auditing
Okay.
2020.
So I move that we accept these reports from the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Okay, number 7, new business, discuss and possible action to approve the ordinance calling the election for May 3rd, 2025, general election for the position of mayor, alderman number 1, and alderman number 2.
Discussion first. Discussion.
If there's any questions about this item, I'll be happy to answer. Typical general election.
Any questions?
Nope.
No.
Right.
I move that we approve ordinance 25-734-16, calling for general elections on May 3rd, 2025.
Second. Oh, go ahead. Mr. Taylor, I mean second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll move on to 7B, discussion and possible action to appoint Associate Judge Salita Alexander Simmons as recommended by Judge Krennic. Mr. Judge, you'd like to speak?
Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem and council members, from time to time, I needed, the city needs an associate judge in case I wasn't available for, to do my duties and to maybe be called upon to do judicial functions. And I believe I have selected a very well qualified and dignified associate judge that would do a great job and represent the city very well. She's been trained and certified properly. A good and I just really it would be in the best interest that the court have an assistant judge available in case I'm not here. The fact is, I was gone Monday, Tuesday, and most of Wednesday at some yearly judicial training that's required, and so the city was out of judge. So, she could take my place and stuff like that. Probably won't need her that much, but when we do, I can't think of anybody better that could do the good job. And like I said, represent the city properly and do a great job as far as making judicial decisions. And I just I need her personally, you know. Sometimes I might just want to be gone for 2 weeks or something like that.
Take a vacation, huh?
But,
I don't know.
Judge, I
I
appreciate
don't like to
that.
travel, I don't like to fish, and I can't play golf with that damn. So, you know, somebody needs to be available to fill in, and
Gotcha.
I have a
Hold on here,
question.
Judge.
I have a question for,
Judge,
I have a question for Ms. Simmons.
Okay.
Ms. Simmons,
sorry.
how are you?
Hello, hello.
Can you
Hello, everyone.
state your name for us,
I'm
please?
Shalita Alexander Simmons.
You're full-time at Prairie View, as I understand?
I am full-time at Prairie View.
Okay. How would you take off if you were needed here from your full-time job?
So Judge Krennick and I did talk a little bit about the details, and of course I would have advance notice, and I've already decided how I would handle it at the city of Prairie View in order to fill in for the city of Brookshire.
You know how you'll handle it, okay?
Yes, pertaining to the city of Prairie View. And
Okay.
if it was not feasible for me to do that, then I would not be able to serve, and Judge Krennick and I would work that out in advance. I would
Okay.
only agree to something that I could do.
Oh, I understand. Okay.
And he and I did discuss it, and when he first discussed it with me, my initial question was, well, how often are you gone? Because I would not want to commit to something that would pose a problem for the city of Prairie View, for me, for Judge Krennick, or for the city of Brookshire.
Okay.
Ms. Simmons, I said it last time, I'll say it again. I asked around about you a lot, and
Okay.
I just want you to know that you have an outstanding reputation, especially in and around Prairie View.
Thank you.
And I think you would be an outstanding associate judge to support Judge Krennick
Thank
here
you.
in Brookshire.
Thank you.
Well, I spoke, as I said last meeting, that I would give you a call. I spoke with you.
Right.
We had a very detailed conversation. I don't see any reason why I shouldn't support her as being the alternate judge.
Thank you.
Is that your motion?
I make a motion that we appoint Shalita Alexander Simmons as our alternate judge.
I second.
Second.
I got you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you. Thank
you.
you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Judge Krennick, for your comment.
Thank you. I'll swear her in sometime. She has to take an oath. I'll give it to her.
All right.
Will you do that oath at court, Judge? Judge Krennick, will you do her oath to swear her in at court, or would you come back here to council to do that, or?
Do it in the hallway.
I just thought it might be nice to have the public be available to participate, make it a ceremonial thing.
I just don't have the oath here
Right,
with me, but I'll get it done.
okay. If you just maybe let us know so we can be there.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get it done. If you want me to come back with her, we can do it at the next meeting.
I think that makes sense. I mean, you're not gonna
No. What would you like?
they want something ceremonial.
Yeah, I would love to see ceremonial something. Yeah,
Next meeting.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Mayor or
Oh.
Mayor Pro Tem can do it. I don't have your road.
So we need to make sure we add that to future agenda.
He tried to get out of there.
Yeah.
Get gone.
Y'all have a good night. Okay, next item is 7C, discussion and possible action to approve plat number 915 Purdy Street as recommended by LJL. Do we have anyone that wants to speak about this plat?
Nobody's here.
Is
LJA?
LJA here?
Put your mic. That's right. Nobody's here?
LJA here.
Yeah, someone's back there.
LJA represented.
Could you come to the podium, please?
Hello.
How are y'all tonight?
State your name for us, please.
Shanna O'Hara with LJA Engineering.
So I'm reading through here your recommendation, and there's a lot of caveats here. You say you're recommending with limited review of the materials, which consists of, I don't know, about 60 pages here, based on the 2024 regulations and ordinances, and that you are approving at that point. Can you outline for us exactly what might be involved?
Reviews is just a sentence we put in there. It follows it's gone through multiple reviews, and it follows everything in y'all's.
So it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
okay.
It follows everything in y'all's.
Okay.
I mean, the biggest thing is is the building lines on a plat, especially for a minor plat, 'cause this is a commercial reserve. So I mean, it's not a subdivision. There's really only a few things we look for in the minor plat. So
And just for informational purposes for citizens, this is for a medical facility,
correct.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. On Highway 90,
That Fifth and Purdy.
Purdy Street, Highway 90. Yeah. Okay.
I move that we approve the plat for 915 Purdy Street as recommended by LJA.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're moving on to 7D, discussion and possible action to move forward with the negotiations on proposed strategic partnership with IDV Development Fund.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Aldermen, Alderwomen.
Good evening.
My name is Aaron Carpenter. I'm an attorney at Allen Boone Humphreys Robinson. My client is IDV. They are under contract to acquire a 460-acre site in the ETJ of the city known as the Brown Tract. They are working with D.R. Horton and 4-Star to try to develop a development plan for the tract. And we're here tonight to provide an introduction to this potential project. Representatives of IDV are here, representatives of D.R. Horton and 4-Star are here to provide that introduction. And when that concludes, I would propose that I would come back and propose a potential course of action with the city. And we look forward to providing this introduction and working with you guys. And I'm happy to take questions, but I'm also happy to hand it over to Tim Harrington at IDV to introduce what we're proposing to develop.
I have a question
Yes.
for you. So, is this track going to be annexed into the city of Brookshire?
So, under our proposal, the majority of this is currently in the ETJ. What we are seeking to do is put in a municipal utility district to allow us to pay for and reimburse the infrastructure. But a key part would be a strategic partnership agreement with the city of Brookshire, with the condition of when the reimbursement has occurred and they are paid back from the value that they've created, the city of Brookshire would have the ability at its option to annex in the tract into the city limits of Brookshire.
So, you're speaking of an EDC project or abatement project for this particular, abatement agreement for this particular project?
We do not have that in our proposal.
Okay. So, just so I understand, you're saying when explain that again about the annexation? What is the caveat to that again?
The caveat is, since we are in the ETJ and we wouldn't be immediately subject to the taxing jurisdiction, we would have a MUD, and the MUD would exist so that the taxable value that's created can first support bonds to repay them for water infrastructure, roads, the capital that they invest. When that repayment has occurred and the reimbursement is final, then the city of Brookshire would have the ability to annex them into the city limits on a long-term basis and get the benefit of that taxable value.
Okay.
So they would sign under contract that they would agree never to petition to be removed from the ETJ, and at some point at the end of that, the city would have the option of annexing them, and that they would agree to that under contract.
Following the reimbursement, and I think what we would be doing here is saying, okay, what are the ground rules? We want to be able to build infrastructure, bring it to the doorstep of the city, really. We want the city to be a long-term home, but we need to have clear ground rules. Once that contract would be in place, I think it would severely limit any petition ability under, if you're referring to Senate Bill 2038 or anything like that, this would be the new ground rules.
I just like it because right now we've got the opposite problem. We have builders that are exiting our ETJ as fast as they can, so.
We want to be here to propose an option to move forward.
So what is your proposed time frame?
What we would like to do tonight is provide an introduction, and we can talk through the terms, even though we're kind of hitting them now. And then we would like to have binding documentation, if possible, by the middle of April 15th. And we would, of course, accommodate any city council schedule or document needs of your staff to facilitate that timeline.
Timeline as far as the completion of the project?
No, I think it's a long-term project. And I would let the development folks kind of speak to that, and I think that, you know, it would go, it'll take a decade. Take a decade, but as the value grows and as the project continues to grow, as a MUD, we would be obligated to reimburse them as soon as possible, not affecting the tax base of any of the city. And the value that's there, whether it's from warehouses, the personal property in that warehouse, all of it would support that infrastructure and not be a cost to the city until the tax base is fully grown, the reimbursement has occurred, and then there are options to allow for that annexation. But it would be a long-term project.
Can this agreement be structured for annexation first, or while it's going on? Because I know that this development, as big as it's going to be, will provide tax revenue for the city of Brookshire. And deals can be cut in all types of ways, right? So why can't it be structured for annexation now?
And it really has to just do with the feasibility of the infrastructure reimbursement, that with the tax rate of the city, and then the tax rate that would be needed to support the bonds to bring in this infrastructure. And some of this is new. Some of this is the cost of infrastructure, which has increased.
Okay.
And that is it. And this option provides sort of a known vehicle to do it. With an abatement or something, there's limitations on time that impact its effectiveness.
Right.
So we tried to strike a balance. We looked at this tract, said we're in the ETJ, what makes the most sense. We didn't want to just say, no, we're just going to do this independently. We wanted it to be an organic development appropriate for an ETJ, and that's what we aim to capture in our terms.
So who's going to get the tax revenue for this project over this long term that's being developed right now? 2 years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years down the line, as it's being developed, because you did say it's a long-term project, who's going to get the tax revenue? Waller County or Brookshire or?
Waller County would, in the short term, Waller County would get tax revenue, the school district, if ESD 200's tax base would be, they would get some tax revenue. The MUD would use the tax revenue and sort of function as a frontline infrastructure development vehicle for the city. And it would use it just for the purpose of issuing those bonds and for providing any maintenance for the facilities. And there may be a small portion where we're working with the water district as well. But ultimately, upon that annexation, the tax revenue would go to the city of Brookshire.
Okay, and for the sake of time, I have just two more questions. There's a small area that is within the city of Brookshire. Will we get any tax revenue from that?
Well, I think that is something that we want to help solve. I mean, I think in any development, we would like consistency. What we're proposing is bringing in the far western portion into the ETJ and ultimately into the city of Brookshire. And our proposal would be the small portion in the city, that it would make it consistent. I think our key point there is we want to be able to have the ability to provide service to that area. If the water district is struggling to do so, we want to have the ability for our facilities to do it. And we want to be collaborative with all the stakeholders here. And to keep it consistent and in the ETJ would allow for there not being separate sets of rules and would be beneficial. I think our key point is we want to be able to serve that area to allow it to grow.
Okay, and my last question is, if there was a way that we could partner you up with an attorney to see if the project could work for the interests of Brookshire and your development to get it annexed, would you be open to that?
We are open to evaluating, I think, any development plan. We want there to be the best fit and the right balance.
Okay.
That's what I would like to see as well. We want to work with you, but we also are looking out for the city's best interests as well. When we want to make you happy, we want to be happy as well.
And there's other points to this, because I was kind of thinking going through the terms at the tail end, but I think maybe it makes more sense to tell you guys it now before we go into the pretty pictures and all. There's other parts that we want to do. We want to, with our facilities investment, we want to go in, if we're drilling a water well, we want to evaluate, is there surplus capacity? Are there other folks that could use it? Could this be used to bring growth in and serve as a model as to how to grow within the city of Brookshire? And under our proposal, as there's also a significant amount of light industrial, there's some commercial development, there is a penny of sales tax capacity available in the area. And what we would like to do is put in a structure where that is a split process, where you guys don't have to, it's not full city services, all of this, but there is a split in the short term. So facilities are created, growth can occur in the broader area, whether in the ETJ, in the corporate limits, or otherwise. We want to try to build that in as a structure. And if sales tax is being generated, which occasionally in light industrial can be significant, we want that to be a sharing thing, and we think keeping it in a customary 50-50 makes a lot of sense.
So have you came to an agreement with the water district?
We are currently working on it. They do not cover the vast majority in their service area. It's just that small portion in the corporate limits. So we don't have the benefit of too much time. So we're doing this on 2 tracks with the city and the water district.
So concerning the water well, you're saying you're on mud, right? So the well, that means you're going to dig a well. Is that correct or not?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay, would that well provide water for the city of Brookshire?
We're open to, I mean, I'd look over there because they're the guys providing the money, but I think these are development plans that have to be, evaluated. And if there's an interest from the water district in participating or having the rights to acquire surplus, then we would take that into consideration.
Yeah.
Those are the types of discussions
Right.
we want.
Yeah, I mean, we can get something out of this deal, right? We're not getting tax money, so we can get some. You know,
Well, in the short term, our main offer is a path to showing how growth can occur in the ETJ, staying in a partnership with the city, and in the long term, it's having Brookshire as the home.
right. Yeah, we welcome the retail. It's close, you know, in retail and good portable housing and good parks bring growth to a city. You know, we just, the tax revenue is what we need to as well.
You have some pretty pictures you want to share with us?
That's what this guy's here to initiate. I'm happy to, and I'll sit down here.
Yeah, I think, Mr.
Put them down right there.
be up there, right?
Yeah.
Right here. Across from Dickey's Barbecue.
Okay.
Oh.
Most likely, I think it's the one with the tape.
Facebook.
First try.
Thank you all very much for having us in tonight. We do appreciate it. And we have been having conversations with the water district and are working to continue that dialogue and partner with them as much as we can. We know that currently the water district does not have capacity to serve this development, and a new water well would be required to serve this area.
Yep.
They come out.
I didn't touch it. Wasn't me.
And then this one down, and that one's the. And so
We're gonna put it on the
sensitive.
desk, maybe it's getting full.
Is the projector on?
It don't look like it's on.
There it is, okay. Now it is.
Okay, now it's on. It's back off.
Okay. So the projector's on. No, it's connecting. It's kind of sensitive.
Like the cord.
Turn it some more,
Yeah, you might have to
straighten it out.
just come stand up here.
There we go. All right.
Agree.
So when you're there.
Take me in.
Okay.
You want to grab the mic?
You can hold it.
Do you have a clicker for it?
Okay, here we go. I'm Tim Harrington. I'm one of the principals with IDV, and we currently have the Brown Tract under contract. We are working and partnering with DR Horton and Four Star Development to bring a mixed-use development to the Brookshire ETJ. This is at the intersection of FM 1489 and I-10 on the south side of 10. Bessie's Creek runs through the middle of the tract, and then Donegan Road is on the far western boundary. Thank you. So this aerial gives you an outline of the improvements, the infrastructure improvements that we have planned for this tract. I'll start from the east and move west. So we plan on making improvements to FM 1489. We'll be adding turning lanes and traffic signals. We will also be adding public roads internal to the tract. And then, as you can see, there'll also be a water well and water plant along with a wastewater treatment plant. On the far western boundary, we'll be making improvements to Donegan Road and where it ties into I-10 and the frontage road. This is a schematic site plan that shows the different types of uses proposed in the area. So on the hard corner of FM 1489 and I-10, you can see that there's retail and commercial planned. Along 1489 on the southern boundary along Baines Road, which I did not highlight that Baines Road will also be improved as part of this project. D.R. Horton has residential planned through that section. And then there's also residential planned on the western side of Bessie's Creek along Donegan Road. And then behind the residential and commercial, there will be light industrial and warehouse use. So the way that this breaks down, there are approximately 14 to 20 acres that would be allocated for retail and commercial use. That will entail restaurants, a gas station or travel center, quick service restaurants, and potentially hotels. From a residential perspective, there's over 170 acres of residential and over 651 home sites available. And then from an industrial perspective, there's 110 acres of industrial, which is approximately 1.8 million square feet, and over $150 million of value created through that development. We'll go to the next one, please. So this is a zoom in of the commercial and retail, and this is at the hard corner of FM 1489 and I-10. I think one key thing here to notice is that there's no access along I-10. We've had conversations with TxDOT. They view that frontage road as an exit ramp, and so they're not willing to give any curb cuts along that frontage road. So that is dictating some of the use type for this tract as well. So I think that's an important thing for everyone to note. But TxDOT also controls FM 1489 and those improvements, and we've had a lot of discussions with them about making improvements along 1489 and adding a traffic signal at 11th Street. But as you can see, at this point, these are lines on paper. We do not have any commitments from anyone at this time, and IDV, we are industrial developers, light industrial developers. We don't develop retail, but we will be bringing utilities to this site and be partnering with a retail developer to make this come to fruition. I'll pass the mic to the D.R. Horton team, and they can tell you about their plans and their product.
Thank you. My name is Cade Roden. I'm the Director of Acquisitions for D.R. Horton. So our interest in the site is obviously the residential portion. A little bit about D.R. Horton. We started in 1978, small home building company in Arlington. It's grown since then. So in 2002, Horton took the title as America's biggest builder in the country, and we have not relinquished that title since that time. We're in 113 markets, I think, in 33 states, and we just have under 15,000 employees total nationwide. So big, Fortune 500 company. We're publicly traded, but we are in almost every major market in Texas. So, that includes Houston, of course, and we're spreading out. We have been for some time. So we're in Katy, we're in Sealy, we're in Sugar Land, Richmond, Rosenberg. I mean, you name the municipality, and we're in it. So where we are not currently is Brookshire, which we would love to be. So we're looking at, bringing affordable housing to Brookshire. Part of the industrial and commercial component, there's a great tax revenue streams for the city and, the area. But in order to have those be viable for those companies, they need the rooftops to support that. And, Brookshire's needing new development. We've noticed that. We noticed that the area is growing. I'm sure most of you have grown up in the area, have seen the changes along I-10, how rapidly it's developing from Katy all the way out, and it's changing year to year. So that's bringing more bodies, more families, more jobs, and those people need places to live. So about every single year, 100,000 people move to the city of Houston and the surrounding area. So we're trying to supply those people with communities and homes to raise their families and not have to travel large distances to get to those employment centers and those industrial spots and shop and eat and take care of their families. So that's our goal here. And hopefully we can work with the city and come up with a great solution that make that possible.
And this is a schematic of the overall land plan, and it shows the current boundary of the city's ETJ and the current city limits, and then what is in unincorporated Waller County. One more slide. And then I'll pass the mic to Four Star, who's a development partner with D.R. Horton.
Hello, everybody. My name is Fahad Munawar. I'm the Director of Acquisition at 4-Star. 4-Star is the largest publicly traded land development company in the nation. We operate in 24 states and 62 markets. Our parent company is D.R. Horton, so a lot of the projects we do are in conjunction with them. One fun fact about 4-Star, out of every 50 homes that are built in America, one of them is built on a 4-star lot. And we build everything from small neighborhoods to resort-style master plan communities. And with over 70,000 home sites developed in the last 5 years, we have a lot of talent and capabilities to help develop all the horizontal infrastructure for this development with partnering with D.R. Horton and IDV.
As I mentioned, my name's Tim Harrington. I'm one of the principals with IDV. IDV was founded in 2013. I have 4 other partners. We are focused in Texas. I'm a native Houstonian. We are passionate about delivering Class A product. We have a development down the highway. If y'all are familiar with the Ansara neighborhood, there's 2 buildings along I-10 on the south side there, next to Camping World that we recently delivered. LeKang's just moved into one of those buildings. Those are both our buildings. And so I think that speaks to the quality of what we plan to build in the area. If you wouldn't mind flipping to the next slide, please. We're very well capitalized. We're not a publicly traded company, but we work with some of the largest real estate investors in the world. And this is a partial list of some of our clients. We have worked with FedEx, Kinder Morgan, Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages, Yokohama, Memorial Hermann. The plan is to bring high quality development and great jobs to the Brookshire ETJ.
Could you go back to the slide that shows the outline of the Brookshire, the ETJ in Waller County? That one. As I understand, the purple, I see where it says City of Brookshire, that little small box, that's within the city limits, right?
Yes,
correct?
sir.
And then the ETJ is all of the dark blue. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then everything outside of that's Waller County.
That's correct.
Okay. So in the long term, and I know you mentioned bonds and paying it back a long-term project, as far as annexation is concerned, what will happen with the Waller County portion? Would that be annexed to, or would that have to be an agreement from Waller County?
Under our plan, it would be annexed to.
It will be annexed to. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
As far as 11th Street, I heard you mention traffic light. That's going to require quite a bit of infrastructure work on 11th Street. How are you proposing going about that?
We have LJA is our engineer. Reginald Smith is here tonight. LJA is one of the top engineering firms in the country. They'll be conducting a traffic study which they've actually already done, and a traffic analysis that will be submitted to TxDOT for their review and approval. And then based upon those findings, they'll begin, the formal design of the infrastructure.
So how would the city of Brookshire be involved in those decision makings?
That road is owned by TxDOT. So
11th Street?
Oh, no, not 11th Street. Sorry. FN 1489 is. But yes, we'll work in conjunction with the city of Brookshire on 11th Street. Yeah,
Joint project.
we're proposing to essentially extend 11th Street west towards Bessie's Creek. We can flip back to that slide if you wouldn't mind. It's towards the beginning. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah, that's perfect. So the yellow highlighted street that runs east-west, that's a continuation of 11th Street.
And that's a good example of what we would be doing. IDV, DR Horton 4-star would be paying to build that road. The MUD would be seeking bonds to reimburse that road. I think before getting annexed into the city, it would probably be county maintenance, and then upon annexation, it would become a city of Brookshire maintenance obligation. And that's kind of the interim phase that we'd be describing and using that as an example.
So as this project moves forward, houses are being built. Let's just say there's an incident and you need emergency service like a police department. Are you gonna expect the city, or are you gonna lean toward the county? Because we can offer it, but you have to be within the city limits.
Actually, I believe we can offer police services within the ETJ. And since they would be within the ETJ, they would be eligible.
We're not getting the tax money for that.
No.
Well, that's where the strategic partnership agreement comes in, revenue sharing on sales tax.
Yeah.
And I've seen with City of Katy using sales tax revenue streams to fund municipal services payments for the pro rata share of those services. If that's what the city and, the district and the guys putting it in place in this room here today would like to do, if it's just more beneficial or a better path in this interim period for the county to do it, or ESD for fire, then that's also something that's on the table.
Would you be open to, and I know you said the project was decades and all that, would you be open to working some type of an agreement, written agreement, that in the long run, at the end of this, that Brookshire would definitely be able to annex this property?
Yes, I think under our terms of the strategic partnership agreement, once the reimbursement occurred for the infrastructure for this development, and that's a key threshold. We want to be able to, so everyone's eligible, DR Horton, IDV, for their infrastructure, and we would try to support that reimbursement as fast as possible, but the strategic partnership agreement would allow that annexation.
Okay.
Met.
It's in the ETJ, so we have the right to annex it already.
And they wouldn't have the ability
Yeah.
to, under current law, to stop
Correct.
that.
Yeah.
All of it's not in there. Part of it's in
But
there.
that little teeny section at
Oh.
the end there is Waller County.
I believe if this contract were put in place, it would last under any.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Olson, going forward, motion to allow the mayor and your office to negotiate terms?
Have you?
I think that's fine. Really, the next step would be, they kind of touched on strategic partnership agreements, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that later tonight. But, we would work something out, just general terms. They've already kind of laid out the general terms. Bring something, we can start that discussion.
So if I'm not mistaken, you met with Joe Esch, our EDC coordinator.
Yes, we did.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And there were several of us at that meeting.
Okay.
Staff level, so I've had an opportunity to talk to them. I haven't done anything or scoped the project, so the next step would be, they're gonna send me something to look at, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
I'd move that we approve the mayor and appropriate attorneys and legal people to move forward with this negotiation for a partnership with IDV Development.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome.
Somebody talk.
Too much. That's not told. That's not saying anything wrong.
Just throw something out.
Who's second? I'm sorry. We're doing double shift.
What is that?
Who's second?
Oh,
Who's second?
Eric seconded.
Okay.
Yeah. McAnally made the motion there.
Yeah.
Damn that thing loud.
I thought he was gonna fall.
Okay.
That's why I was looking crazy. So he all that before.
Let's move on to E, discussion and possibility, discussion and possible action
Cheryl.
to approve the scope of service and agreement with architects to renovate at 1215 Kenny Street, Public Works Headquarters.
Look at me. Mike.
I'd like to have discussion on this one.
That's the big.
Mr. Taylor. This, and it also has Ms. McFarland, but I'm sure you probably have some details as well on this project for Kenny Street. So this is an architectural firm just to come in and do a design of what is needed. Is that correct? Who selected this company? Well, the idea of renovating Kenny Street came from us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, how was this done before?
When I started, I was told this was already an ongoing thing that's been started.
Previous councils have talked about this in the past and the need to make changes over there and upgrade. I don't think everything's ever moved beyond the general discussion phase in the past, so this is kind of the next step.
So you remember this company?
The Blue Line?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know anything about them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't selecting that company or anything like that.
Okay. Do we have another bid? Is this the only bid?
I believe so.
This is not a bid, this is architectural drawings, so we can go out to bid.
Okay.
We have a standard set of plans for anyone that wants to bid on this project to look at. They can't submit their own architectural plans.
So you didn't select the architect by bid. So do you have another architect company besides this one?
Yeah, the architect works for LGA. They weren't selected by bid. Professional services like this, architects, engineers, we can't go out to bid.
I understand that. Maybe I phrased my question wrong. I'm asking, is there another architectural company? Is this the only architectural company that was chosen by somebody?
This was selected as part of the general services agreement with LGA, yes.
So,
No other architect firms have been.
okay. Because they seem to be rather expensive. That's the reason why I asked. They want $65,000 to do an architectural drawing, okay? And that's why I'm asking, did we entertain another architectural company to make sure that we're not getting a higher price than we need to pay?
But I can tell you,
Right.
part of that process of finding a qualified professional like an architect firm, we can't even ask them their price. So we would basically pick the most qualified firm we saw, and then you negotiate the contract with them. So you really don't even get into price until that second step. That's just the way the law's written. We're not allowed to ask those questions on the firm.
Okay.
Now, we can reject this and ask LJA to find another.
Have the qualifications on other architect firms, absolutely, pick one we like and try to negotiate something better.
I can hear y'all up here.
Your alternate staff.
Well, that's one concern. The other concern is that are we asking for too much to be done right now? Because I'm looking at wrought iron fences, additional sheds and buildings. You know, should we go to a fence company to do the fence instead of getting and I know this is a architectural design, okay, but we might need to I would think that we might need to table this one, go back, take another look, and make sure that we're being good stewards of the taxpayers' money for what we're asking for, and we're not asking for the moon in this proposal right here. Okay.
There's no time frame set. You need to know how much, you need to get architect drawings so we can get bids, and then you time frame the project based on what you think can be spent. So once we have final numbers, this project may be a 2-year, 2.5-year project, depending on how much money and how much money council decides they want to spend, and divide it up into different sections.
Again, we may need to go back, take another look at this project, because this project was thought of to make it a better working place for the employees there. They're eating in their cars, in the sun, in the heat. They don't have a good break room. And so we need to look at the low-hanging fruit, things that we can do to make improvements without asking for the moon, without overpricing this project. You know, that's just my opinion. I'm only one voice here. But I'm just thinking that my opinion only, go back and take another look at this.
We can't swing one hammer. We can't pound one nail until we have an architectural drawing so that we can go out for bid. So we can't just do, we're just going to go and build this little section. We got to put this project to bid as a whole project. And in order to do that, we have to have the architectural drawings.
Yeah, we can put it together as a whole project based on what we want. Okay, if we don't want a fence, if we don't want.
This doesn't cover the scope, is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying that it seems that someone went out there and said, and did this and says, you know, I want everything. I want a fence. I want, you know, they asked for all this stuff, a Christmas list, and didn't look at the basic necessity needs that we can do within reason to make it better for the employees.
So you're saying the city council really didn't make all the decisions,
Right.
went to the architectural firm?
Right. Who decided all these things? It was it you? Who?
No, sir.
Okay. So. Right. We asked for a lean-to to get our equipment out of the rain. You know, there are metal building companies that could come in there and put a lean-to in 2 days. Okay. We don't need an architectural design company to go out there and tell us that we need a lean-to over here that we can put our equipment out of the rain. We don't need a design company to do that. Okay. We don't need a design company to come in and tell us to put a fence around this building with a gate that's 30 feet wide. We don't need an architectural company to do that. This is my opinion. You know, it's just examples. Yeah.
It's a public facility, it's gonna require legally engineering or an architect. We don't have a choice. So we're gonna have to hire somebody. Now, if you want us to change the scope of the project, because I assume the architects were given a scope, and then they would send us a proposal to design plans to that scope. If y'all wanna take a step back.
I would suggest that we have an engineering company that we pay now to have them to go out there and do some of this basic stuff. Okay?
But I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Yes. So that's already what happened, but it's based on the scope we provided.
Plans aren't for designing a fence, they're for designing the building. I mean, they're not going to design anything.
No, I'm not saying design a fence.
They may put details in there of a fence that already exists. Like, I can tell you that right now, when we put fences in our plan, it's a fence that already exists. So we don't spend money on the fence design. We spend money on pavement design, utility design, and interior building. I can't tell you what the interior building is, I'm not an architect.
Installation.
Okay, because I was under the exception that Borough Engineering was under the impression that Barrow Engineering handles the inside and LJA handles the outside. Is that correct? Right, okay. So I would think that LJA Engineering could let us know if a fence company is coming out there to put up a fence properly. Right, right. Right, right. Right. But we wouldn't need an architectural company to do that, right? If we didn't choose to do so. Yeah,
Not the
but
fence.
that's in here. Okay. So, okay. Anyway.
So we
that's
could,
just-
we could send this back and change the scope of work and just say, look, we want to have anything that doesn't actually require by law architectural
Yeah.
designs removed from the scope of work, and then send it back to LJ and have them either get this guy or somebody else to give us a new pricing, a new contract based on that new scope.
That's why we have engineering, and engineers to do that. Yeah. I like that.
If y'all wanna take a step back, we still have essentially, not hires, but chosen an architecture firm to work with through this process. So we would submit through LJA to this architect company, which apparently there's a relationship, the reduced scope, whatever that may be, and they would submit another cost.
Right. This is the same company that designed the annex building down there, right?
If y'all wanna do that, I think that, we can share that information with the architects and, we'll go from there. Y'all are gonna have to, somebody's gonna have to sit down though and look at the scope of the project, and y'all are gonna have to decide, where you're gonna trim stuff, and what that looks like.
I think the main thing we could start with is just trim anything that doesn't require by law architectural design drawings.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you do it?
So I'd move that we ask LJA to go back and adjust the scope of work to remove anything that does not require architectural drawings by law or statute and represent this.
I second. Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next, we have F, discussion and possible action to change street name from 13th Street to Jackson Street.
I actually put this on the agenda, and we do have a representative from the Jackson family here to let us know a little bit of history about 13th Street. Who's supposed to come? You come.
To the mayor and the aldermen and alderwomen, thank you for this privilege to address the board. I am Louis Jackson, and the street in question, 13th Street, you had asked for a little history on the street itself. My great-grandpa, George Jackson, bought 12.5 acres of property in the city of Brookshire in 1894, along with 25.5 acres on what is called the bottom property, or the bottom section. And at the time that he bought the 12.5 acres in the city of Brookshire, he had other neighbors that did not have access to their property and their homes. And he donated at that point a sliver of the 12.5 acres so that they would have access to get to their homes. As I said again, I'm thankful for this privilege to stand before you and request that this name change from 13th Street be to George Jackson Street, or whatever, George Jackson. We're trying to have him in remembrance because of the property and what he did in those days. He had, as I said, 25.5 acres on the farmland and 12.5 acres here in the city of Brookshire at a point when, as we know our history, we were offered 40 acres and a mule. So this will end up being 37 acres
Mm.
minus the mule. So,
The mule gone.
I'm thankful that you have considered this. I'm thankful for my niece Lisa
Mhm.
and all of my family that has joined me here. So thank you for this privilege, and I appreciate what you have done.
Mr. Jackson, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
So I'm looking here, and it looks like there are 12 other residences that currently front off of 13th Street. Have you spoken with those residents, and do they seem favorable to this change as far as you are aware?
No, this is just, I have not spoken to any of the
Proposed
residents
years ago.
on this
but they-
street.
They never.
My point is, it was originally Jackson property, and it was given to these neighbors as a gift. So that is the only ground that we stand on, that we, address the court on.
Mr. Jackson, are you saying that 13th Street was originally a right-of-way?
It is a right-of-way now that was granted to these neighbors that live in the back so that
Yes, sir.
they could get to that property.
Okay.
This is the history that was handed down to me from my family.
Yes, sir.
And I want to say that this was actually proposed before, I think when Scott was mayor. But I know Lisa have a little bit more about that.
Put it on the agenda, and it was
Come up.
knocked down, because they said he didn't put why.
Why?
He wanted to change to,
Mhm.
to Jackson Street. So they never went forward with it.
Okay.
So, I'm confused. So, 13, how did 13th Street get to be named 13th Street? How, I mean, so,
Because of the number.
Probably at the time the city was incorporated, they had to present a plat, and they just named it 13th Street
So
at the
the-
time.
Because of the numbers.
so your family donated 13th Street. 11, is it?
It's 13th Street, but it just fell in line with the numbers. That's why. I
Oh, it
was-
fell down with the numbers. Okay, and so the 13th Street was donated by your family? Donated to the city of Brookshire by your?
That's the
The
history
land
that was
was-
handed down to me. It was donated to these families by my grandpa.
Does any deed, do we have any deeds or anything, any kind of backup or any
It
kind
would,
of?
it would just be, I believe, under a right-of-way.
Yeah.
So the city just has by law a certain right-of-way. When something is a right-of-way that becomes public, you'd have to have Olson look it up exactly for you, but.
Talking about the timeframe you're talking about, it would have been a really simple file, piece of paper like a public, just, hey, it wouldn't even be dedicated to the city, probably, just, hey, I'm gonna give this land up to the public
Yeah.
so these folks can access.
Just a simple right-of-way agreement, yeah.
A real simple document. I don't know if anything's filed record or not.
How,
Back in that time, I mean, they just, yes.
I think more of the fact that this is a cultural type of deal. These are my relatives. There was no money exchanged, and it was something that was offered just as a courtesy and kindness.
To your neighbors.
This is the history that I have. I don't have any documentation on it, but I appreciate it coming up in council and for you to think about it. I
I mean, yeah,
appreciate it.
I'm not saying that it shouldn't be done, okay? I just like to do everything right,
I don't think
you know, and how is it going to affect the maps in the county and everything else that ties into? To-
911 is the major thing that we need to worry about.
Right.
Because we went through this with streets in Brookshire before with the 911 service. So
Talking about the
if
trailer
this
park.
if
Over
this
there.
moves if this moves forward, that should be priority one.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has an emergency and they go to the wrong street, you know, I mean, and none of the maps are. Can we get to Olson and Olson to take a look at this? And
Would you all be open, council, to maybe having, just giving direction to staff to do
Yeah,
some research
that's
on
what I
this and
think.
coming back at the next
Yeah,
meeting
that's what I think,
with an
yeah.
actual proposal of how we could do this and what would be involved?
Yeah.
Would you be open to that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do a little research. Yeah.
Let's just make a motion or whatever to look up.
I think you just have to make it staff direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do some research.
Is there a certain ordinance
on
or
you.
something?
Oh, Ms. McDade, you should make that motion. It's
Oh,
your,
what's that?
it's your item. Just move that the mayor give direction to the staff to research and come back to the next meeting with a proposal of how,
Yeah.
what would be involved if we wanted to implement this.
So we could change smoothly, so we could
Okay,
change.
so just basically
Yeah.
make a motion to have the
Have the s-
mayor to.
Give direction to staff.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Okay. We're back together now.
Okay, I would like to make a proposal for the mayor to give directions to the staff to actually come back to the next meeting to present a proposal to move forward.
Yeah. I second.
Is that a motion?
Yes, I made a motion. Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just because you all are happy.
Attorney Olson, we need proper direction.
Yeah, for the
Step
next
one,
meeting.
step two, proper steps on how to. Yes.
It's really pretty, it's a simple ordinance that you'll pass.
Ordinance.
Well, what are the back end ramifications?
Right.
How do we deal with 911? How do
911.
we deal with Waller County?
Right.
How do we deal with?
It's a postal cert, it's all, so.
Right.
There's a laundry list of people that we'll just have to inform.
Right.
So we're hoping you could help our staff put that together in a proposal that can come back to the next meeting.
Okay.
So we'll come back with the ordinance.
Yeah.
So it's no action. We'll come back to this when we get further information.
Next
and,
meeting.
Our next meeting, whichever way. Next we have G, discussion about employee payroll issues. Whose is
All right.
this?
This is mine.
How y'all?
Miss
Hold it down.
Miss Gucci, can you please come to the podium?
Miss who?
Gucci.
Oh,
Stacy?
I didn't know.
So you're not alone.
So you're responsible for processing payroll for the city of Brookshire employees, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So there's been a number of complaints from employees about the payroll not being processed in a timely manner. Okay. And I just want, if you could please explain how the process work and if that is actually true or not, that it hadn't been processed.
I don't know what that complaint would be in reference to, because payroll happens on bi-weekly every month, and the payroll cycle ends on a Sunday. I come in Monday, I process payroll, people are paid by Wednesday. And I have not had any complaints. That is, according to our handbook, the chain of command and how complaints should be registered. You register them with the department head or your immediate supervisor. If it's not resolved, then you take it to the mayor or city secretary, who is my direct boss, and then, so I can't fix what I don't know. And if someone has questions about something or how it's processed, I can't answer that question unless I know more specifics.
Okay.
But generally, that is how the payroll is processed.
So,
Do we pay?
Gentlemen, thank y'all for coming.
Thank y'all.
all right.
Ms.
Sure.
Kitty, so do we pay bi-weekly or twice a month?
Bi-weekly,
So that's 26 paychecks a year?
Yes.
Okay.
and everyone is paid ACH, so that goes right into their bank account. I'm not printing checks, except for the, 2 council members that get checks. printed.
So
But, so I'm not understanding what
haven't-
the issue is.
the city secretary hadn't received any complaints?
No,
That
I
you
haven't
know?
received any complaints.
She hadn't talked to you about any complaints that she received?
No.
Okay. All right, because I did have a conversation with city secretary as well, and she said she was going to talk to you. But she hadn't talked to you, right? Okay.
Mm-mm.
And you hadn't received any complaints from any employees?
No, they come to me with general questions and I answer them.
What are general questions, complaints or not?
No,
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
that's it.
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, I'm more than happy to sit down with any employee that has any issues or complaints. It's easier for me to resolve the issues.
With my paycheck, and she calls it, or she fixes it on not adding on the hours. I'll talk to the mayor about it as well.
Yeah, but the issues are resolved.
Okay.
And it's not me not doing my job, it's a software glitch on some of these things.
Okay. Those were some of the employees that work out in the field, and they were considering coming before council. And I just tried to, help out without them having to come here, but just try to get it resolved, that's all.
Is the city secretary aware of these people?
Yes.
Okay, I'll talk to her.
Okay. Thank you.
No action? Any other discussion, questions? Okay. We'll move on to H, discuss and possible action to request substation from Waller Harris 200 Emergency Services District in Central Brookshire.
This was actually my item because of an incident that actually happened with me. I had a family member that had an emergency where she couldn't breathe, passed out and all that. And it actually took the ambulance a while to get there. So at a point like that, every second counts. And I know the station is actually located outside of Brookshire right now, outside of the city limits. And of course, I know it's Waller County now, but I suggested having a substation here. I don't know how that works with it being, with Waller County being over the EMS and all that, but how would it work?
Well, you have an emergency services district, is that correct?
Yes.
It services all of Brookshire. You don't have any of your own stuff.
Correct.
No.
So we would just need to talk to the district, and see if there's we could work together. They probably would want us to, put something into that deal.
Okay.
Financially would be my guess to make something like that happen, but we can start that conversation.
Okay.
See if it's even on the table.
And the report that we received here in the packet says that request for did discussion to open with them was made, and as of January 31st, we had not received any response
That's why you gotta
from them.
poke a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just ruffle a little feathers, and I'll find out who the legal counsel is, and we'll have a conversation.
Okay.
Their legal counsel responded with the emergency service response times here. Their legal counsel, if you looked at the document, their name is here, right? And they said that their response times were 6 minutes to 20 seconds, something like that. Right.
Average response time of 113 calls was
Right.
6
Number of
minutes
calls.
and 20 seconds.
But I had suggested one thing in the past, that the blue building that's down there on 90, that would possibly could be a layover for EMS. If they were right, the old fire station. It could be a layover for them. If they were here around in town, or they could lay over there in that parking lot. And I do services there in that building right now, but at least it would put yes. And at least that would
Okay.
right. And so they could be staged in the heart of the city as a layover, and it will help out some.
You had a description, where's this building?
Highway 90 in Gresham.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Highway 90 in Gresham.
Okay.
Now, I've been trying to get this done for a long time.
What?
Getting the ESD to put a substation here. The board has changed members since then. Right after the election, I think Ms. Ward was supposed to reach out to him because we had this discussion. I brought it up again. Not sure what happened with that. We never received a response from him. But it is needed in our community. As y'all saw earlier, we have a proposal to build a new subdivision. That's not easy to get to, mainly when construction's going on. Thank God they finished the construction on I-10 because the fire department has to come from the south side, outside of Brookshire city limits, to get to Brookshire. So it would just benefit the city altogether if we had a substation here that would house a ambulance and maybe a small fire truck. So we are open for negotiations. Just let them know this is something that we want.
And I will, but you don't want to spend a bunch of money, legal fees, entertain. I mean, really, if you're going to talk to board members, it probably should come from y'all. I mean, y'all need to designate somebody to go, all an elected official to elected.
I actually spoke to one of the members today. Not a board member, but someone who's actually helping me, giving me direction on trying to get it. And they used to be a volunteer firefighter here in this community, and I haven't stopped working on it. Just hadn't really gotten anywhere.
Well, if y'all are okay with it, I think there's something work on this together.
Okay.
So that I can kind of point you in some direction so you're not racking up a bunch of legal bills for me just kind of trying to advocate on behalf of the position. It's really more a mayor or city administrator or something or somebody designated from council. It would make more sense.
Again, a short-term fix will be layover.
I don't disagree with you. And us providing some kind of a place that doesn't cost them anything may make sense to you.
And it benefits us on our insurance. It does.
ESD, I just know in the past, ESD has been resistant to talking or discussing any of this. We've reached out to them. Last council reached out to them. We got the county, at one point, Trey Duhan actually went in with us to try to influence them, and the ESD just really.
I remember 15 plus years ago, last time I was sitting in this room, it was the same issue.
We've been talking about it for a long time, and there hasn't been interest on their part.
So it's time to get resolved.
Well, that, as I understand, that the ESD were voted on by the citizens. And they get a portion of the sales tax. I think it may be 2% or something that goes to the ESD. So if they're not willing to negotiate, it could go up for a vote and be reversed. You know, I mean, that's a long, way far out there right now, but, just need to.
Right.
I get it. We'll see what
Every second count.
I want y'all to spin your wheels, spend a bunch of time and energy if it's not on the table for them. You're gonna have to change that board's mind.
Right.
Okay, we'll have to do that, because every second count. Just think about the young man that was killed in apartments. If we would have had EMS a little closer, maybe he would have lived. Every second count. So do we need to make a motion on this?
No, it's no action at this
So we
point.
just need direction. I just, if we're gonna do it, it shouldn't just be city attorney just making phone calls. It's gonna have to come top down too. So we need to have a relationship with whoever's administering the ESD. And
Okay.
we all need to deal with whoever the chairs and the board members down.
Okay.
And if we approach it that way, maybe we'll have some success, or at least build a relationship to where the door's open for that conversation.
Okay. All right.
Well, I know I was in conversation with the previous president of the ESD, and before they bought the property, I think he told me they spent $1.3 million on that property where that new station is. He reached out to the city of Brookshire, but he didn't get a response because they wanted to use that.
Wow.
And he has emails, and he has phone records to prove. And I was in strong conversation with him, but he didn't get the response from City Hall.
That's a missed opportunity. opportunity, but it doesn't, I mean, maybe we can get past that. I don't know if there's any ill feelings. I think there's always been a kind of some tension between the city and the ESD, so we gotta get past that before they're gonna even entertain.
That's right.
Well, I was just putting it out there because they wanted to come here.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
Get it, and we missed it.
Yeah. I don't have anything else.
There's no action.
Right.
Okay. Discussion and possible action about procedures for use of the EDC funds. Ain't that yours?
I think this one was mine as well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I know during Christmas, money was taken out of EDC funds to buy Christmas decorations or lights or something like that, right, Stacy? Okay. And I know when it came down to it, like the EDC board or council members knew nothing about it. Now, I know each holiday has a budgeted amount, but what are procedures for just going using EDC money without going before the board or even the EDC board knowing about it?
Yeah, EDC can't spend money unless it's a designated action. And that has to be done formally. There's a whole notice procedure for it. And council has to bless that too. So they have to bless all projects in their budget. So if the EDC is spending money that has not been authorized by the EDC board and council, it's not an authorized expense.
It wasn't EDC, it was actually
The money came out of EDC's budget,
came out of the budget, but it
But it
wasn't spent
wasn't-
by them, it was spent by
but
the,
there was no discussion with the EDC board. And we were told that, I think it was $10,000.
So $10,000 was taken from the EDC's budget and given to the city for something. Is that what you're telling me?
for Christmas lights.
For Christmas lights?
Yeah.
And that was never authorized generally under some project?
No.
Because I don't know anything about that. I don't.
We didn't either.
I said Olson, not Mr.
No, you said, the lawyer said y'all could do.
Mm-hmm.
There's
And I
many
did it just what you
lawyers.
said.
It wouldn't have been this lawyer, so, and I'm not saying they couldn't have. I just don't know anything about it.
There's many lawyers. I'll pull up the email.
Yeah, well, I'll look into it if y'all like.
Yes, look
Yes.
into it.
Please.
Of the EDC and y'all
Mhm.
on what's up, but I don't know anything about that issue.
Yeah, but the right procedure is to go before the board.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I wanna look at how it was done, and I'll tell you if something was done wrong.
Okay, thank
And
you.
I'll look at the emails from whoever the previous lawyer was, and I think it's somebody from my office, probably Justin.
Yeah, we know.
or Jim or
Becky,
somebody.
whatever
I'll look
it
at
is.
That's what I'm saying.
it. Explore more stuff.
Okay. Okay. Next, we have J, discussion, possible action, locate funds for renovation clubhouse at Hovis Park.
So, Hovis Park, the clubhouse there at Hovis Park is in a horrible condition. And we would like to get it renovated on the inside. So we're asking to do a budget amendment to move funds into EDC to renovate the clubhouse. And I think it's gonna be about $50,000. It needs to be taken down to the studs. The walls are not insulated correctly. The floor needs to be replaced. The AC needs to be repaired. The kitchen cabinets need to be replaced. The camera system need to be had a little work done to it. But that could be a great place for rental for the citizens if they wanted to have something in the park. You know, right now they only rent the convention center, but they could rent that place out as well. And they also could use that place to do training, classroom training for the youth baseball team. So, and it's a city building that needs to be maintained. It's just been allowed to just go down like the blue building over there. It needs to be maintained. So
Can
I'll
we
make a
identify-
motion to move some.
Have we identified where we would move funds from?
That's for staff to do. I know there's money available, but I would like staff to at least take a look.
So we wanna move money from the city's coffer to the EDC.
To EDC, yes. Now, we did also have funds in EDC to renovate the ONX building because the EDC office is gonna move there. So I know there's funds in the EDC budget as well, so we can look at that too. Okay.
If y'all wanna partner, then it sounds like with
Right.
EDC to do
Right.
something like that.
Mhm.
And it's an authorized expenditure for both entities, so
Yeah.
it just depends on, structurally how y'all want that to work. You want the city to handle the project, or you want?
I want the EDC will handle the project, city provide the funds. Or if not,
You don't need to give the EDC money, we'll just work out an arrangement to where you fund whatever the portion of the project that council wants.
right, we have a budget that we authorized for FY25 that did not include renovation of the clubhouse. So we need to reallocate some funds to do this, okay? Yeah.
But we haven't identified where those funds would be transferred from.
No, we need to have staff to take a look. But again, there are funds in the EDC that we can look at as well that were gonna be used to renovate the annex building.
I think it's a great idea. I just would like to have a more substantiated proposal put in front of me that says we're going to move funds from point A to this project, so we know where those funds
Right.
are coming from, and whether it's 25 from EDC, 25 from some city budget or whatever. I'd like to see a little more detail before I was able to vote on it.
That's why I'm asking staff, make a motion to have staff to take a look.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay.
So you just made a motion?
He moved. Mrs. Taylor beat me to the second.
Oh.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. K, discussion and possible action to elevate the camera vendor. Evaluate the camera. Sorry. Anyone
Mr.
else
Green.
with this? Is that you, Mr. Green?
Have anyone even met the vendors for the camera system?
I have.
Mayor, have you met them?
Probably said anything
Yeah.
about it.
I'm curious.
Well, one, but not the other.
Maybe we haven't met like the whole team, but we met
Mhm.
somebody.
How
from the
many is it?
company.
Well, I'm curious on who has access to the cameras and who don't. There's been a lot of things that transpired that was very questionable on who has access to the cameras. Some cameras are supposed to be recording and some of them are not. Some of them supposed to not have microphones on and some of them do. We don't know. We don't know any of this. But there's been too many questions and no one has reached out to the camera people to bring them here to even talk about it. And I would like to know, I want to know who has access to the cameras and what type of access do they have? Do they have full access? Can they record? Can they download? Can they turn the mics on? Can they turn the mics off? I want to know all of that.
That's a good question.
Me too.
Well, for obvious reasons, it's not something that even if the people I knew about that right now, we just board out and open session.
Right, I
Yeah,
understand.
that's what I'm thinking. This is not something we should be discussing here.
No.
Luckily, I mean, there's an exception in the Open Meetings Act to have executive session on security devices, so specifically we'll figure out what's going on and we'll have an executive session.
I'm fully aware. I don't want to talk about it out in the public. I'm just telling you what I want. What I want. If you'd start talking, I would have had to cut you off. But I do want this information.
Okay.
So this isn't an evaluation of the vendor. You're just looking for a report from the camera.
Well, actually, I
Who has
want the
access?
whole scope. I want everything
That's the funny
because
thing,
I have
Sammy.
no idea who these people are.
Was either a ghost in here or was a voice coming through one of them?
I agree.
What was that, Ms. McDade?
I said either it's a ghost in here or something, some noise came from the camera.
We're not gonna have to approach the security camera. We have the staff, not me personally, but there's staff that does know exactly what the cameras do.
You
So
sure?
We'll put together some kind of report to make sure you have it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it if you want to further. We'll put it on there in case you have questions.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Also, there was a report provided here with, I guess, has all the cameras listed here. Yeah. So I can see that the system's not that old. 2023 to 2024.
And we just replaced it with
Yeah,
ARPA
no,
They were
funds.
putting them in.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, again, I mean, obviously Eric's not feeling much, not here tonight, and she would be the point person for that. And so we'll huddle up when she's feeling better and make sure. You can review.
All righty.
It'll be confidential though. I may even send it to the attorney-client privilege under, just so y'all, this is a reminder, not something we want to control.
Yes. That's all I have.
Okay. L, discussion of remodel, repair, construction expenditures for 2023 through 2024, including cost, procurement and permitting.
right. This is in reference to Venus Construction and Professional Roofs. We requested this information because the city of Brookshire spent $600,000 with Venus Construction. And I'd asked for detailed information about those expenditures. I received a check request information, but did not receive the detailed invoices with all the repairs that were done. Ms. Glover, if you could make note and get us the detailed repair invoices. Also did not receive any information on professional roofs at all.
You want to table it then so you get that?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, table it or request information from staff because this has been going on for a month now to try to get this information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I'm just trying to make it plain and clear what I'm asking for here now. Detailed invoices of the repairs that were done. And also professional roofs, repairs that were done. And also a copy of the $16,400 check. 3 checks that were written for professional roofs. All of the checks that were written for professional roofs. That's it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, we have M, discussion on the employment hiring process.
Okay, so just real quick, a little bit of history on this. I received a number of complaints about the hiring process within the city of Brookshire from citizens. Okay, and when I did, some of the complaints that they brought to me seemed to be valid, and that's the reason why I asked for this to be on the agenda, and also asked for a council member to be on the interview panel to evaluate the process. Okay.
What was the concerns?
I'm going to get ready to go in there right now. Okay. So one of the concerns was that in 2022, there were employees hired okay, that for the city of Brookshire, no references checked on them, okay?
2023.
2023, I'm sorry, 2023. No references checked on the employees. There was employees hired where no position was posted externally for people, for outside the general public to bid on it, to apply. No position posted. An employee brought in, no position posted, hired in the city, and didn't meet the minimum qualifications of the job. Okay? Also, during the interviewing process, no set of standard questions. Interview applicants come in, you ask them one different set of questions for this applicant, a different set of questions for that applicant. No consistency. No scoring sheet. There's no cutoff date for accepting applications. There should be a deadline. We're accepting applications up until this date. Those are the concerns.
And these are all concerns that were brought to you by citizens?
Yes.
So how would
Yes.
citizens know
Yes.
if reference checks were done or not? How would a citizen know that?
You may need to ask them that. I don't
Can
know.
you tell me who it was? I'd
No,
love to ask them that.
I would not do that.
Well, then I can't ask them, so you'll need to answer the
Yeah.
question for
No,
me.
I don't
How
need
would,
to
how would a
answer.
citizen know whether or not reference checks were made?
I don't know. But I can
Well,
tell
I
you
wouldn't-
that.
Then I don't believe them.
I can
okay,
tell
if
you
don't
that.
know. How would a citizen know whether or
can-
not someone was hired that didn't meet the minimum standards?
I can tell you how to find out.
You just told me ask the citizen, but you won't tell me who it was.
I can tell you how to find out. Go back and look at who was hired in 2023 and see if there were any references done. You can figure that out. Just that simple. Okay?
So how would we determine that at this point?
Just like I told you, go back and see.
I don't have a time machine, can't go back in time.
We have the employees that were hired in 2023.
Okay.
Go back and look at their original applications, who they were, and find out were there any references done. They have a file here, right?
But how do we know? Somebody could have called and never made a note.
Yep.
It
Absolutely.
ought to be, but I can't definitively say that it didn't occur. I cannot definitively say no reference checks were made.
You got blue hair, and I tell that person gonna believe you have blue hair. You have to prove it till you don't. They're gonna think you don't. If a citizen tell you there's a pothole on Main Street that blew my tire out, could you fix it? Well, I don't know, I gotta go look here.
And why is it
If
only
a citizen
about,
is telling me things that they have no way of possibly knowing,
but why
then I
is
do
it
question
only
that.
about the references being checked?
They have no way of possibly
Why?
knowing
What
that.
about the other issues?
I believe if we have
Okay.
hires that don't meet minimum standards, or if we didn't post positions, those are indeed problems. I don't.
Okay.
I don't believe that happened.
Okay, thank you.
We got the motion.
Right.
Let's move on.
So, you know, I mean, it depends on how the city choose to operate. Are we going to try to prevent lawsuits because of unfair hiring practices? It just depends on how the city want to operate. I have to bring before the council what was seen during the process, and that was the reason for having council members. Ms. McDade was there. Okay, so you know, if we choose to not have a standard set of interviewing questions and 3 different applicants come in and we ask them 4 questions and ask the other one 10, you know,
Absolutely, no law.
or we don't have
no
a
law
scoring
requires
sheet.
that you ask 1, 4, and the other one the exact same 4 questions. That is not required by any law. As a
did
matter of
not
fact,
say it was
that's
required.
poor interviewing, in my opinion.
I think you're not understanding. You're not understanding my statements.
I am understanding your statement.
Okay, you're not. My statements are that I'm bringing the information back, and I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. I said I'm bringing the information back to determine how the city want to operate, standard operating practices. Do we want to continue? Do we want to do that? Do we want to interview five questions here, 10 there? Do we want to not have a cutoff date on accepting applications? You know,
We need to
Open
work
until
on that.
filled? Absolutely.
Just, we need to work on that.
Right.
Yeah, there should be some type of
Move
process
on.
set up.
There is a process.
It is, but we need to work on it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
So there's no action on this one? I just want to make, I just want to.
No, it's not no action. We're going to work on it. We're going to.
The mayor is going to give staff
Maybe
direction.
you and
to-
I
I
can sit
think-
down and talk about it. Maybe you, I, and the city secretary
Okay.
get somewhere with it.
I'd be happy to sit down and discuss it with you, Mr. Mayor.
Good.
Ian, discussion and possible action to create city trail ride committee.
Okay. So, again, citizens approached me with this. That's why I was elected. I'm doing my job, right? The citizens approach you with an issue and you bring it before council if you seem that it's worthy to talk about it. And people have problems because of that. But it's not going to stop me regardless. So I want to ask Olson and Olson the rules and guidelines for hotel motel. Because as I understand, if there's a convention or a festival that's happening to bring tax revenue inside the city, other citizens from other areas come inside the city and spend money here, that it qualifies for hotel motel. And there's a lot of different, people out here with opinions on Facebook and all that. And I want to get the record straight from a legal standpoint of what's legal or not. I've done some research myself, but I want the attorneys to tell us what's right and what's not right about this. And if you need more time, let us know. We can always come back.
I mean, just think about why a hotel occupancy tax was created and who pays it. The hotels pay. That's it.
Okay.
So it's heads and beds. So you can have a festival, if it doesn't reasonably bring people into town to stay the night, it's not eligible.
But if it brings people in to stay the
You
night,
can argue that it brings people into town, and those people stay in some hotels, yes.
But there's a number of other criteria that are required by the state statute for what hotel motel funds can be used for to reimburse. There's a whole statute that what the funds can be used to reimburse for.
It's got to bring people into town that are going to stay.
Exactly, but you can't use those funds to pay an event coordinator. That's not a reimbursable expense under hotel motel funds. There's very specifically 7 outlined items according to statute that are available for reimbursement of funds through hotel motel. It's listed on the state website. Anybody that wants to know and has access to Google and 6 fingers can figure it out.
I know, but where did the event coordinator come? The question is,
Where did the committee come from?
where's the coordinator? I didn't mention a coordinator. I asked the attorney to give us a definition of the use of hotel motel. I mean,
He's right. There's a statute that outlines authorized expenditures.
Right.
But you don't even get to that as part of that expense or that event until you've shown
That you've done
you're
it.
going to bring people in town, they're going to lay their heads down.
has nothing to do with an event coordinator, right? Has nothing to do with an event coordinator. Is that correct or not?
You have to look at what arrangements.
Okay.
No, typically not.
Okay, and do you know the process of doing that to assure that people are in hotels? What is the process?
A lot of times cities will partner with the local hotels, and they'll do their own kind of a polling process, but that's only as good as the people that are staying there are willing to participate in that process. So there is no formal, state process or local process. We're relying on just essentially surveying of the guests.
Okay. As I mentioned earlier, I did a lot of research on this, and I would like for you to go back and do some research, if you don't mind, and then come back and let us know again. Okay? Because I've did the research and reading on this, and there's specific guidelines for this. Okay.
In the,
Hotel occupancy tax on the agenda, I would have prepared.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll add it to future agendas. And hold on for you. I know that in the past, this has been an abused account. Okay, terribly abused in the past. Okay, I wasn't here during that time. Okay, I'm just saying in the past, and the records and the finances are still available. Okay, This has been an abused account. It was thought before and used before for festivals, MLK, Juneteenth, all those festivals were being used for hotel motel and other things. Okay, the rules are being broken. That's just the bottom line. And so the question is right now, how can we get it right? Because the money's available there, if to be used if it's done right.
Absolutely, and it should be an agenda.
Sorry,
It should
Mr.
be an
Green.
agenda item, but it's not an agenda item right now.
Yeah.
You could establish a simple policy like a checklist.
Yeah.
Things. I mean, if you want to, but.
Such a thing exists already. It exists already. It's been produced by our yes, city secretary and city manager.
And we can have a more in-depth discussion next week.
I'll say this. In the past, we formed a committee. And the committee was people not elected on that committee. And whoever wanted to apply for that grant went before that committee. And that committee recommended whether they got approved for the grant or not to city council. And that worked out really well, except for a few people that wanted to go against the grain. But there was there were guidelines in place that you had to follow for that. And I think that's what maybe the committee part is what you was referencing to. I would like to get that committee started again if we're gonna start using hotel motel funds for grants to take the unnecessary pressure off of city council, because eventually it becomes political, and then they use it as a political tool. If you don't get the money, then you don't get our vote, and that's not right. Just meet the criteria,
Right.
and then we had a set amount of money that was only available, and once that money was gone, you can apply for it, but if there's nothing there. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So, but I will take a look at what we have existing.
Yes.
And see if I suggest any revisions or how we all want to handle it. I mean, if you want to create a committee, fine, let's put something on the agenda to do that.
It was already created. We just need to appoint some people there.
If it's already created by a matter of some kind of action or ordinance, I don't know.
It was created. It fell apart during COVID.
You just need to reappoint, I guess, it sounds like.
All right.
But that has nothing to do with the creation of a city trail ride committee,
Yeah.
which
well,
is that's the agenda
the
item.
city trail ride committee is on there because, as I mentioned earlier, you had a committee that qualified as an event to bring people into town to spend revenue, which qualified under hotel motel. Okay, that's what tied it to it.
I'm still concerned. I'm still lost as to where are we discussing the creation of a city trail ride committee, which is what the agenda item says.
Maybe that was just
But
an example.
in the past, also, there was an issue with getting receipts turned in to show that they had these people here.
What
and
account did they use?
that was still from the hotel.
Hotel motel.
That's what I'm
Tied
saying.
to it, right? Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
that's why it ties to it.
Well, Mayor, we'll take a look.
All right.
So are we going to discuss the creation of a city trail ride
No.
committee?
No, not until we do hotel motel, hotel motel.
Okay, so that agenda item is being removed.
Okay, let's move on, y'all.
Please.
Please.
We're gonna add hotel motel to the agenda, future agendas and.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to figure out, are we going to do anything with,
Okay,
with
okay,
this
okay, okay,
particular
stop.
agenda item?
So this is what all the Facebook
Jesus
was,
Christ.
talk was about. I'm starting to understand now.
Right.
When, today, I don't do Facebook anyway, so.
No, I'm starting to understand where it came from.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I haven't
Okay.
seen
The attorney's gonna do some research
Just
and get back
clarification,
with us.
that's all.
Yeah. So, next one is O. Discussion and possible action to allow the city-supported events, not actual city events, to have access to city resources and city funding.
Right.
That's you
So, that's me. So, when citizens come before council for different events that they're hosting, like the cancer walk we did, like the veterans thing we did, like parades and festivals, the city council authorize funding or resources. And no resources or funding should be given out to those organizations without council approval. That includes money, equipment, or anything of that sort. Chairs, tables, tractors, anything like that should be given to those individual organizations without council approval. Is that correct or not?
Absolutely correct.
Okay,
100%.
I just want to confirm that. All right. Okay.
Has something like that occurred that,
Yes.
that you're aware of?
Absolutely.
A city-supported event received?
Right.
Can you tell us more about it?
No.
You have a lot of ghost things that make it impossible for council to actually make decisions because
It
for all I
doesn't.
know is you're lying through your teeth because you won't tell us anything except your personal opinion about something as if it's facts from God, as if you've received holy revelation
that's
of
enough,
some
Jim.
sort.
Well, no, that's okay.
That's
It's
enough.
okay.
Let's have some facts.
I
Let's
mean,
have
I-
something
I-
brought forth that
I-
can be substantiated.
Come on, keep it
That's
professional.
okay.
Keep
Let
it
him voice his
professional.
opinion. It's
But
fine.
that's enough.
I'm just saying it doesn't matter who did it. What are the guidelines? That's what I'm asking.
Fix
Are we
it.
following the guidelines? Doesn't matter who he did it, that person did it. Stick to the guidelines, rules and procedures and guidelines. That's all I'm asking.
And fix it.
And fix it.
That's it.
That's it. That's all to it.
That's it.
Okay, let's move on.
Well, to
That
fix
is
it,
the rule. That is the
fix it, you have to figure out
guideline
who
that is-
authorized it.
Nobody
Who
wants
done
to-
wrong?
Yeah,
Do y'all want me just to say it?
Yeah,
I
go
will.
ahead if you want to, baby.
Just say it.
Okay. Do you want me to say it? Okay. Well, there was a tractor loaned to the trail ride, the thing that happened for MLK. City tractor.
The parade?
Yes.
What? What? Explain that, cause I'm not sure.
That's what I understand.
So it was.
Yeah, I was over there, but I'm trying to figure out what.
Where was the tractor used? In the parade?
Yes, from what I understand.
But that's
the
just
tractor was
Public
in the
Works
parade.
participating in the parade. But
I
that's
can
not.
tell you
That it
that
was
was-
not. Now, just here's the reason why. This is not to be facetious why I'm doing this. I'm questioning this. It is because if we don't authorize that equipment to be used there and a little kid runs over with that tractor, we're liable.
Well, let me ask
Okay.
you this.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Rick.
Was it in the parade or?
In the parade.
That was not a city event.
What
Was that a city event? Was that a city event? Or was that an independent person's event? Independent organization event? Or was it a city event? Yes or no? Was it a city
It was
event?
a city supported event. Exactly. It was
Or
not city.
Who authorized the cities to support that event?
Not
No
the
one
city
came
support.
before council, did they?
What did
Do
the
what?
tractor do?
I have
rode
no
It
idea.
rode in the parade.
But
If it rode in the parade, that came from me.
was the parade a city-sponsored event or an independent organization event?
If the city is gonna use resources as part of any event in the future, they will approach council with their intent to use such resources.
That's what I'm asking. That'll
happen moving forward.
That's what I'm
Thank
saying.
you.
I gave
And the mayor
permission.
just said he gave permission for the tractor to ride in the parade.
That's what you're talking about. I just don't, because on, as far as the Christmas parade, I also did that, asked for Public Works to put a tractor and trailer in the
City event.
parade.
Christmas parade was a city event.
But I'm just saying.
It's our liability that's at stake. If someone gets hurt and that tractor's over there, we're liable for it. Is that right? I need to turn it to clarify all of this information I'm saying here.
I'm listening. You're absolutely, vehicles is one of those exceptions to immunity, so it is, if somebody just like a police officer gets in a wreck, we are exposed to liability with vehicles.
Okay, because I want you to speak up because people are looking at me like I'm doing something wrong, and it's your responsibility to clarify that.
I get it. So
Okay.
I think moving forward, if we're gonna establish whether or not there's clear communication, but we're gonna make sure council knows when city equipment in any event's gonna be used. And you'll have an opportunity at that point then to say, we don't think that's a good idea.
Thank you.
We'll just do that.
Mayor, did you authorize?
I said I authorized.
Yes, he said 3 times he
I
authorized
said
it.
that.
It has been okay in the past.
It's an implied authority, and apparently there's some issue about it, so we will make sure when the mayor authorizes something, the council is made aware of that. If you want to, as part of the city secretary of city, whoever.
Something the city has been doing for a long time, right, Mr. Green?
But I didn't
City-
see
with
it and
city-
didn't know.
with city
People have came to me and told me
events.
that. I didn't see it myself.
Only
Yeah.
with city events
Okay.
that I'm aware of it.
The last three
We'll just shirk that process.
Martin Luther King parades, we've had Public Works and Police Department
People being used up for
and city vehicles in it.
So, yeah, we'll deal with it.
Okay.
All right.
Because the city
Let's
was
move
part of
on
it.
then to
That's why. City
O,
was part of it.
discussion about disaster preparations.
That's me again, right?
E.
So, Hurricane Beryl came. We had a disaster. Wasn't that bad. Then we get this latest freeze. The Warming Center was scheduled to open on that Wednesday, the day that the sun was going to come out. Okay? When the actual freeze was on Monday and Tuesday, the Warming Center should have been open on Monday and Tuesday. Okay? So, to make a long story short, I want to make a motion because we're leaving it up to staff to decide when to open the warming center, cooling center, and assistance for the citizens. I think it should be a motion made that at a certain temperature, the warming center should be open, a certain heat temperature and a certain cooling temperature, that it should be an ordinance that the convention center should be open. And also, we have no interlocal agreement with the school or anyone else. If, God forbid, that we have some major hurricane come through here, tear up a bunch of houses, and people standing out in the street that very day, the city should be ready to assist the citizens for at least 72 hours, at least that. Where's the interlocal agreement to open the school, to hang up? What will we do now?
You're saying if we lose power, right?
If a tornado or hurricane come and tear up 20 houses out here, and people have nowhere to go, what is the plan? What is the plan? You know, I know that, but is she going to be here the very next second, the very next hour that people are standing out there? Did she have a plan in place with the school district or anybody to open up centers to go have people housed over there? Does she have that? Is that in place right now?
Speaking from past experience, when I served on emergency management in my city, those plans are activated. You can activate them during the event, before the event. There's leading up to the event, there's lots of moving parts and plans that.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of moving parts, but there are people standing out waiting in the. That's why we had talked about this in the past about establishing a disaster committee. Okay, and we got this thing that you all need to go take all these tests. Go take a bunch of tests, and then y'all can be on the committee.
Right.
There's no reason for the committee members to go take all these tests, in person and online tests, to be on the committee. So it never came to fruition, right? And so that's one thing. And then the warming center and the cooling center should be automatically implemented based on temperature, in my opinion, okay?
So it's your position that a person should not have any training in order to sit on the committee to develop the emergency management plans and make recommendations?
Not everyone that's there.
Interesting.
Not everyone.
You know, one else have
One- one- one, two, whatever.
Especially before hurricane season, have a workshop or something to talk about that.
That's a good idea.
Hear professionally from the emergency management coordinator, police chief, about kind of what plan would be placed. And then if you want to tweak that or suggest revisions, that would be appropriate.
Right.
That's where I was getting at.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Right.
Especially
Because
that we have
again,
a lot of elderly people here. We need to look
Right.
after them.
again, The warming center was opened the day that the sun came out, and not on the day that Monday and Tuesday when it was freezing outside, okay?
Okay. Q, discussion and possible action in regard to the trash building.
That you, Eric?
Great.
Bring this up.
This your item?
Is this your item?
Table this
Trash
until
building?
until you-
Yeah,
Wanna
table
table
this. Yeah.
I have a question.
You have to-
Table this?
We could table it, but I have some questions.
Yeah.
Mr. Green, you say you want to table this?
He want to table it, yeah.
Mr. Green?
He said he wants
said
to table
table.
it.
Yes.
I asked Mr. Green. I ain't
Okay.
asked 15 other people.
He kept saying
Oh,
yeah.
you can't hear.
I can hear. If some people keep their mouth closed, I can hear.
I'm allowed to speak. I was just gonna make the board aware that the Brookshire Municipal Water District did, approve and accept a contract, that was presented to our board, from the attorneys, and it's supposed to be forwarded to. Has been, okay, forwarded to Mr. Olson, and then that contract, it would be just like it was before. Nothing additional, same thing, just collecting the garbage, like we used to. The city, would pay their sales tax that they are responsible for. And it would stay the same, we had an admin fee. Basically, nothing would change from the way it was before it was disrupted. Just making you aware of that, so.
And-
And contract has to now be approved by you guys, and your attorney has.
Okay.
And that was going to be my future agenda item.
Okay.
May I say one thing? When we roll this process out, could we please notify the customer, not just roll this out,
Yeah.
and people still running over here to pay the bill. We need to do a better job informing the public of what's going on in the city.
That's right.
It makes things, the process go so much better.
Okay.
And it won't be so many complaints and so many issues and disconnects, you know.
Can
We
you
have to work together.
can you help us with that? Because we're here. We're not in the office every day, and a lot of issues are brought to us, but we don't really know the details. Because you work in there every day, you can help us navigate that. This is what we need to do to make this process a little easier, because it's easier on you if it's easier.
So that's something we should start pushing out now.
Understand, and I try to relay this also to the office personnel. The city of Brookshire is a customer service.
Right,
city.
right, right. Ain't,
There's
yep,
no getting around that.
right.
We have to service our people.
Mm-hmm.
Our people are located here, they want to do business here.
Yeah.
A lot of these people are not able to go out to Katy, they're not able to go from one entity to the other. When they make a stop, they want to be able to take care of their business.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so frustrating. Well, I didn't know, well, how long has this been going on? Some of these people didn't even know from last January that the trash is still being collected. And that's a shame. And this town is not that big that we didn't get this information out like we should have.
But we did 2 direct mailings to every registered address in the city,
The first couple of
announcing
them-
that we're going to change that.
Like I say, we didn't get the information out like we should have.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I don't know why. I'm just saying that the city did put that there.
Pasadena, it had Pasadena on the front of it, and if it would came to my mailbox at my house, I wouldn't have looked at it.
Right.
Okay.
All righty.
All I'm telling you is that the city mailed 2 direct mail pieces to everybody. So
But as the city, we are responsible for making sure that this goes. If we see the mail is not getting it, some other recourses need to be taken place.
We're responsible.
Yeah.
We are,
Right?
bottom line.
We get the city staff
That's
out and
something we'll
go
start-
knock every door and let them know.
You know.
Well, city staff goes out the door and leaves disconnection.
Yeah, so that we'll just have to get the city staff out knocking doors.
The city put a notice out in the tax bill. that went
Yeah?
out from taxes in every single booth
Everybody don't own a house.
in the city limits.
We put it on the internet, we sent email
Everybody don't own a house,
campaigns.
some
I
are
mean, we did
renters.
so much to get that word out.
Put it on Facebook.
It was on
Put
Facebook.
everything else on there.
Door hangers, put them on.
I said we could
on
get
the
city
doors,
staff to go out and knock on every door.
Because sending them out to taxpayers, everybody don't own a house.
We fix and move on.
Yeah.
Okay, let me say this. It's been an issue since forever with the trash. But when the water district stopped collecting the bill, it became more of an issue. Now we are in a deficit, and we've never really been in a deficit before.
I'm not sure that's true.
Okay, let them talk.
You didn't see the delinquent bill?
No, I know that there was a deficit recently, but I believe that the city has been in a deficit with our trash service collection for quite some time. Clear back even when the water district was
Mr. Green
collecting
has
those bills.
already wanted to table the thing. Let's move on to, discussion and possible action to place street lights at Fourth and Cooper.
This was my item. Ms. Cassandra Reynolds brought this to my attention that in 2021, maybe going into 2022, I'm not sure, that this was actually approved.
It was approved. I was on the council.
Yeah, but then I think on into May, new council came in, and it kind of got just, I guess, swept under the rug or whatever. So,
Actions was taken, it just wasn't never completed, so
Oh.
And
it was a,
Centerpoint was contacted as well.
so what do we
no,
need to
it
do at
was,
this
it was
point?
approved from us, from council. It just got dropped the
It's on
ball with it.
Centerpoint. They should have done the job.
So is it
That's all I
something
can
we need
say.
to, okay.
But I've made contact with them
Mm-hmm.
about the same issue,
Mm-hmm.
but it just haven't been done.
We didn't approve it.
Is it lights inside of
No,
the
on
hangar's
streets,
property?
it's very dark.
Or street lights outside?
Yeah, like when they have the events, they come out, like especially with the women, it's really dark, and one lady, somebody tried to like attack her or something before.
Okay.
Well, they had requested a total of 4 lights be put.
Mhm. For,
I talked to Ryan as well.
so Cooper and for.
Should we get the engineer involved with this and our engineers involved with this? To help with that process, you said that you got in touch with Centerpoint, right? I mean,
The
just a
engineer-
suggestion that they can
No.
contact, okay.
I don't think so.
Centerpoint should have a pole replacement
That's-
process, and they have a process for requesting. A lot of times they'll give you up to a certain number of poles every year. They'll install it on their dime, we're paying the bill.
It's been 4 years.
I'll take the time and follow up myself because I have the information
Okay.
where I talked to. Also have a map of where they requested the lights.
Okay,
I just don't understand why it hadn't been done.
okay. So we don't
Me
have to make any
either.
type of action right now, right? Because you're gonna follow up. Okay.
Okay, letter S. Update on community liaison and grant writing position. That yours, Mr. Roberts?
Yes. So, the community liaison position has already been, the interviews done and closed. We just need to know when the final selection will be done. If you can make note of that.
The report in here indicates that the mayor would be meeting with the city secretary the week of the 10th to accomplish that.
No, that's for the
That's
grant
for
writers.
the
We're talking
grant
about
writer
community
position.
liaisons.
That's for interviewing the
The
grant
update of
writer.
the city interviews and community liaisons have been completed. The mayor and city secretary have been able to meet due to extenuating circumstances, but they plan on meeting the week of the 10th to discuss this.
So this is the grant writers interview, right?
The update is that the interviews for the community liaison position have been completed. The mayor and city secretary have been unable to meet due to extenuating circumstances, but they plan on meeting the week of the 10th to discuss this.
Okay, and what does it say about the other one?
Interviews for the other open positions are on hold until the mayor's schedule allows for his participation.
Okay, because she's probably saying that because of another email that we received. So the grant writer position is on hold until when will you be available?
Oh, yeah, she said you hadn't been available.
When will you be available, sir?
I'll have to look.
You'll look.
I'll have to look.
Okay.
You gonna be there too?
I could do it. I mean, I
I'm
just.
saying you gonna be there.
Oh yeah,
with me.
yeah. Evaluating the process.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Another no answer.
No grant writers have been interviewed yet.
Because both of the positions are still on the city website, you have to go in and choose them back, and I will see if I can find it.
yeah, they'll probably be updated when if someone decide to evaluate the hiring. That
No, that was for community liaison.
yeah,
Oh.
we'll add that to the list of evaluating the
up.
hiring process that the jobs are not taken down in time. Okay.
Don't look at me like that. What?
Okay. It's gonna be.
Hey, dude,
It's past my bedtime.
you got until 11:59, and then we got to quit because we haven't set a Open Meetings Act for the next day. So.
No, you
Oh,
can
no.
carry me. Y'all be here tomorrow.
We ain't gonna be here. I'm gonna tell you.
Devil is a lie.
Okay.
1 and 2 sometime, wouldn't
Letter T.
it? No.
Discussion of Houston Chronicle article about Brookshire growth from January 27, 2005.
So this is mine also. I asked for it. Right? You know my list is always long, right? So I seen Facebook again. That someone sent a article on Facebook saying that someone in Katy, a news reporter in Katy, came out, took a lot of pictures in Brookshire, and said that Brookshire's a food desert. I agree with that.
Is it what?
Food desert.
Oh.
Okay, meaning that there's not enough grocery stores here that offer a variety of healthy foods for the citizens, right? So, and when I read the article myself, it had indicated that this particular reporter reached out to the city of Brookshire multiple times to try to get a response for this. Katie responded, Fulshire responded. They got someone at the front office here and passed on the information to different people. As I talked to the reporter, I emailed the reporter, and she said that she recorded everything, all of her communication. She recorded it all. Okay, and it's a matter about that. My point in asking for this is that because of, you see the company that came here that want to come here to Brookshire, right? And other companies that might want to come here, we need to be responsive when we get these types of requests if we want to move forward with growth here. And it presents a negative image for developers that want to come to Brookshire and different things like that when we don't respond to newspaper reporters for these types of ads and stuff. And so I just wanted to say that if we get calls into Brookshire and to City Hall or wherever, please someone reach back out to these people so we don't look like we're unresponsive to developers and growth.
What event is this? Katie
Well,
Brookshire?
it was written as though it mentioned Fulshire and Katy, but to me it was about Brookshire. And the reason I wanted it here because this person spent a lot of time coming into our city and took many pictures.
Well,
Okay,
I'd like
so
to
to
see
me the entire ad was about Brookshire
Yeah.
and not really about the other places. And that's why I'm saying that no response was given to the person. And they mentioned it, no response from Brookshire. in the ad.
They said city council though, but.
City
we didn't know
council.
anything.
No response from city councilman.
Nobody contacted
Okay,
us.
no one contacted.
Do we have a formal media request response plan procedure, Ms. Glover? If something comes in, do we have a formal
It depends on,
procedure for that to happen?
depend on the situation.
Okay.
Well, that would be the need for a community liaison. That person would do that particular.
Well,
this
I wouldn't want
particular-
to, I wouldn't want that person speaking on behalf of the city of Brookshire. I don't care who it is. I don't want them speaking on behalf of the city of Brookshire. That's a mayor's job or.
Okay, because
I
it says that.
haven't seen what I was saying. I hadn't seen anyone.
Yeah.
I've been to most of all of the events. I might
Okay.
not stay all day, but I do go and
Yeah.
visit. But I hadn't seen anyone.
But she wasn't at an event.
taking pictures, but it's the only one I've
Yeah.
seen.
Well, she wasn't at the event.
Yeah, I don't think she was at an event, Mayor. I think she just came on her own accord and was taking some
Store,
pictures around
right,
the city
store, yeah. Like a report
for
to
her
the store.
story, for her news
I
story.
didn't, I
Yeah.
didn't see it.
Basically, you taking pictures for like the.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, you see, you know?
Yeah, she know.
I seen the, write-up on Facebook.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's in the
Here's what,
packet.
here's
I
what,
didn't actually see the lady, but,
Yeah,
you know,
me
she
either.
was
I have something to ask you too.
hoping.
here's what I learned, and correct me if I'm wrong. Most businesses won't come to a community if the and I'm not throwing shade at the school district, but if the school district is not at a certain standard, right? And this is something that we dealt with in the past. And then when the school district actually starts raising the standard, people move in. Then they look at the rooftops. Well, business won't come if there's not enough rooftops to sustain their business. Well, we're just not getting the rooftops. You know, so I really didn't understand the article. We've got a lot of commercial property that's coming. That's coming.
Right.
Yeah.
But the houses are coming. So I read the article. I just kind of brushed it off. I was just like, this is somebody who just had to write an article.
Well,
Because he really didn't put much effort into actually reaching out to somebody. I don't think so.
well, she
Because-
did. I mean, she did, and she had mentioned
She
future growth with all of the surrounding ETJ homes that'll be coming in back by Rawl and Stallnick and all that,
Yeah.
and that there will be a need for it. And as I said, I guess the reporters do this all the time, but she actually recorded it, and they have a device where it writes what was said
Yeah.
for the people that responded.
Well-
So
Well, I'll say watch what comes when the houses come.
Yeah.
Watch what comes.
I think this is more about just that we need to have a method in place so that when we have the media reach out to the city of Brookshire, we have a way of ensuring that someone isn't told, given a message, right? We have no idea. She talked with the lady who answers the phone, which could be anybody, right? And was told that someone would call her back, right? So we need to have a little more, I think, as you have been telling us all night, a little more procedures and methods and to our madness here of how we want to do stuff. I think that would
Well,
be.
this is not common for a news reporter just to pop up and start asking questions to the local people. Yeah, it's not common. Yeah.
It's easy.
They come ask
You don't
anybody.
need to go to the mayor. So anybody from
Yeah.
City Hall that receives a request by
Yeah.
the media,
Give it to the mayor.
gives it to the mayor.
So get ready, Mayor.
That's his part of the job.
If you call
Say
me,
that,
I'll
say
return
that.
the call.
Highly of our town.
What?
So you can speak highly of our town.
I don't have a problem with that at all. If somebody called me, I'm gonna call them back. Ain't nobody say I don't call my people back. Hell.
Keep it in mirror.
Okay. I'll work in my marriage.
I don't
Okay,
know.
another one. Let's move on to you. Discussion and possible action. Discussion and possible action about Cinco de Mayo and Juneteenth.
Bless y'all.
This
So-
one you too?
What happened?
yeah. So I think Eileen asked for this to be on here, but I have a
I
discussion
did,
after
but-
she's
but
done.
Go
yeah.
ahead and say.
Well, I would like, just my opinion, to do Cinco de Mayo a little bit different than what we've done with the other ones. Some, again, citizens have requested that we go back to the old way that it was done before, establishing a committee and allowing the committee to coordinate the events, of course, with oversight of council. Make sure things are not, And so I would think if we could try with Cinco de Mayo, just to establish a committee and see.
That's the plan.
And I have some names.
Hold on, stop.
Huh?
Hold on, stop for a minute.
I have. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Who's the?
Okay, I know
who's
you.
the
I know
council
you.
member that's overseeing Cinco de Mayo?
What happened?
Who's the council member that's overseeing Cinco de Mayo?
Eileen is.
I am.
Eileen, you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know you say you have some names in mind, but is Beatrice one of the names?
Oh,
Okay.
That's what I was gonna throw you out there too.
Because I know she know a lot of how they did it in the past,
Out there.
and
All right, so
and she have a lot of good ideas already. Okay, that's all. Go ahead.
so I have Frank Kubion, and he's a city councilman in Patterson. Okay, and he's
he be able to
he's
join?
been in contact with Miss Lemus that did it in the past. He has all of her contacts and all of that, and I know Miss Beatrice have some of the contacts too. I've already spoke to her in detail about it. Lyndon Stamps, also, he's Frank Kubion.
Frank.
City council.
Okay.
City council.
So yes,
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
yes.
Parade, city sponsor parade.
So we got Beatrice.
Lyndon Stamps,
You said Frank.
Tasha Lane, Beatrice, of course, Henry Lasker, Betty Jeffries.
What Cinco de Mayo?
Uh-huh.
I guess they
Also-
put them together. It's the committee. He
Committee.
just naming people for the committee.
It's the
Oh.
committee. Lord Simon. Quotations done in Maria Ochingia. She's on EDC board. Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll see. Let's see how it goes.
Let me say this
Thing
really
is,
quick.
too many people.
It's not-
It could be a little confusing.
If I'm not mistaken, we appointed Quotations Done to be over the festivals, and everyone else would assist her.
Yeah, that was at the beginning, and
That
then
was-
you was the
yes.
Okay.
the
That's-
head. So basically,
That's what's
she
in
was-
place right
yeah.
now. That's what's supposed to be taking place right now.
She really kind of do that anyway. Yeah, her name is on here, but she pretty much
Yeah.
Yeah, her name
do
is
everything.
on. Her name is on.
you know,
there, yeah.
Okay.
she
She'll
gets
be
everything
the
lined
lead
up.
coordinator. Lead coordinator for
She's
it.
really
yeah.
good at that. I know she even kind of helped you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's really good at that.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And when we had the previous festivals committee,
That's what I'm saying. That's what they talking about.
Okay, so this is okay. Gotcha.
It's the same, basically
gotcha.
same thing. Just
How many did y'all have?
we had. So basically, we had like I want to say was about 8.
it was basically one volunteer coordinator for each of the festivals that
Right.
we had,
Okay.
and then a couple of floaters. Henry Lasker was on that committee, very good.
Yeah.
We had some folks on that committee
This
that
what's her husband name? Oh my God.
Cabrera.
Yeah.
Tina
Cabrera.
Cabrera was on it.
She helped with the Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
She don't want to do it no more.
Yeah, I know. She told
Yeah.
me it was a lot
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah,
And the
she
reason
said
I had so many, because Cinco de Mayo, I think, is typically the biggest festival here, right?
Yeah, but
yeah,
it was
that's
just,
what it is.
it's a
Right,
lot,
yeah.
and we didn't really have a lot of help.
Okay.
You know.
Gotcha.
One of the issues that we sometimes run into Cinco de Mayo is because it butts up against voting.
yeah,
We
the
can't
voting.
use the convention center or the amphitheater park very effectively.
So we had to go
because
to the park.
Yeah.
they go down to Hovis, yeah.
Okay, now on to the date, which will be the first Saturday in May,
So
Right.
May 4th.
or Saturday and Sunday.
No.
Voting
No, voting is on that day, right?
It's always on that day.
Uh-huh.
It's the third. It's the third.
Saturday, be May 3rd.
May 3rd. Okay.
But see, one year was on Mother's Day weekend, but it's done in the park, it's not done at City Hall.
Yeah, it's at the park.
So how many,
So it wouldn't affect it.
can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
How many days is it gonna be? Because I think the last time they did it was like
Thank you, sir.
Two.
Yeah, they did it 3 days. One time they did it 2 days before. That's something we'll have to discuss.
The last one was 2 days.
Yeah.
I wasn't here.
I think the 2 times ago was 2 days, and 3 times ago was 3 days.
So we got the committees together, and then
So this is the festive committee,
Can you
right?
read them names again so everyone would know?
The names?
Loud.
But
Yeah.
none of these people have accepted at this point, except maybe Beatrice, right? I mean, these are just,
Maria accepted, Lyndon Stamps accepted.
Maria.
so they've been approached, and they've gone through they've filled out the application,
there.
and they've done the background checks and all
It's
that
not an
stuff.
application for
It's
this.
not, you don't do no background check. These are people that's
just the committee.
volunteering.
We passed an ordinance in this meeting less than 2 months ago that said anybody that serves on a committee for the city of Brookshire will need to fill out an application and go through a background check.
I
Not
don't
for
remember
no
that.
volunteer.
Well, we can go back to the meeting minutes and dig it up if you'd like.
On a committee?
Yes, we said anybody that serves on a committee for the city of
To
Brookshire
volunteer?
needs to go through a background check.
anyway.
Wow.
All right,
I don't remember
We'll
that.
have to look that up.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I ain't never.
what date will it be, Cinco de Mayo?
It will be on May 3rd. That's the first Saturday in May.
That's election day.
That's the election weekend, it's always the first Saturday in May.
But this is too,
Y'all
right?
always
It's
had it in
always
the
the
past.
first
When was it
Saturday in
in the
May as
past?
well.
The first Saturday of May.
Election day?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Well, it's a little different now because they do the 6 days of voting instead of 1
It's
day
been
of
so
voting
long
now,
we had
since
it
they
on.
changed the early voting.
Huh? So
But we didn't have it up here.
Hey,
We
Beatrice.
moved it to the park. We still had it on the same weekend, but we moved it to the park.
yeah, that's what I thought. It was still on the same weekend.
It's the same weekend. We just changed the location
To the
to
park.
Hovis Park.
Yeah.
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 What you think, Reggie?
But it was always still the first Saturday. We just go to the park. It don't interfere with this. Right?
Good. Yeah.
Okay, so next you do 10. Okay. So 10.
But then.
So what do we think about the
Didn't you
10th,
tell
the
me
second
about
weekend?
a lot of Hispanics about what is it, Sunday? It'd be more on a Sunday, right? Did you tell me that? Yeah, that's.
What'd you say?
It's not gonna affect what's going on now with renovation.
Okay.
Saturday and Sunday?
Okay, all right.
Oh.
Because a lot of them actually do it on a Sunday because
got
a
that.
lot of the men work Saturdays. So a lot of them like to party
So
on
is
that Sunday.
Juneteenth going to be
So-
held on the 19th?
So you probably
No,
can-
that's Saturday afterwards. Had so many complaints because it was on 19 people's at work.
So
People have to
move it to
work.
the 21st?
I'm saying, so the 21st, yeah.
So you're going to move it to the 21st?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so as far as the Juneteenth festival, that will be on June 21st, that Saturday, instead of on the actual holiday. And that-
Okay,
and
let's
that-
move
And that will be
on
the
to
same
the
committee,
next one.
right? Yep.
The next one is V, discussion and possible action to approve
I will.
mayor portrait project. Anybody?
I believe this has already been approved. We're just waiting
Yeah,
for
we-
it to get done.
I think Erica may have put this on here because she met with that
Well,
lady. Yeah.
they're supposed to be somewhere just about done, somewhere.
So-
That's no action.
I thought I seen, she had something in here pertaining to that.
Yeah, she has a report that
Yeah.
says that she received Mayor Scott's portrait back on canvas, and she's working with the same photographer to get the rest of the mayor portraits done on canvas. And as part of that, they will also provide nameplates and mounting in the lobby when that project is done.
It's gonna be nice.
She did not have an estimate of a time for completion of that as of the writing of this report.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna
All right.
just do,
For
No
the,
action.
no action,
And
because
then
it's already in process.
process, progress,
Progress, process.
whichever one is. Okay. The next item is number 8, is executive session.
My knees hurt.
Council will convene an executive session pursuant to section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code to consider personal issues and the duties of public officers, employees, such as city administrator, city secretary, police chief, comptroller, public works director, or municipal court clerk. So, I have to ask y'all to clear air out, please.
Hey, you gonna make a run for it. Oh, look, yeah, probably.
on. Okay, hold on. It's on now.
Do I need to reset it?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Mayor, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Okay, we're back from executive session. It is 10:32. Let's go and discuss what we need to discuss.
Alrighty.
All right. So I make a motion to approve the settlement agreement and changes for the former city administrator, Ms. Jennifer Ward.
Second.
Separation.
Settlement's fine. Settlement, separation.
Separation, settlement, whatever.
No, second.
Yes, I got you. All in favor?
Aye.
Left.
I think so.
Okay. Then
Actions.
we don't have nothing else, right?
That's the only actions from executive.
Okay. We'll move on down to number 10, future agenda items. We will start as usual with you, Mr. Green.
Discussion, possible action, and accepting the contract agreement with the Brookshire Municipal Water District to start billing for the trash service.
Accepting the contract with Brookshire Water. Okay. You have any more, sir?
This was done a couple years ago, never followed through, but a light pole on Solomon.
What, for a street light?
Yes.
Okay,
That's all I have.
that's it.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Taylor?
I got one. What's the name?
Okay.
Barbara?
Yeah. Like, is it a rental property or they own it? Yeah.
Those are all rental. They're owned by, they're rented out.
So do we go?
You probably want to put that up, just put
It's mine.
that whole,
We got something to add,
just,
No, this is for me. This is not for him.
yeah, go ahead. You have to put, you might want to put that whole situation on there.
Okay, so, discussion and possible action on regarding like the trash on. It's on Stella Road, those apartment complexes or
I
duplexes.
think it's called Stonebrook. I believe.
Townhomes.
Townhomes. What's the name of the
I think they're called Stonebrook.
Stonebrook?
Townhouses.
It's townhouses. A lot of the residents down the street have been complaining about the trash, so
Okay.
we need to try to talk to, I guess, the owner of the complex, because it's bad. It's really bad.
Code enforcement, yeah.
Lakeisha, you got that for me?
I got
Can
it.
you sideboard the code enforcer? They say she coming in tomorrow.
And tell her what?
The same, but because it's bad, the trash and stuff is hard. Or try to reach out.
has been
Come-
filed
come
related to that address, and we will fall through the code enforcement.
Thank
Thank
you. Oh, and that's all.
So you don't need it, would you still like it on a future agenda?
Yes, and just in case to see if somebody actually, like I want her to
Just an
come.
update?
Yes, please.
We can do that.
Mr. McNutt?
I just have one, discussion and possible action on the hiring or whatever we're going to do for an animal control officer.
I thought we supposed to have done that already.
Yeah, I know that went
But
away.
we've
and
got,
carried
first
on.
gotta get somewhere to put them.
What was that?
We first gotta get somewhere to put them.
It's getting to be kitten season.
Mr. Richards?
You know, I do have one more.
Hmm?
You remember the workshop that we bypassed like last year?
Oh, yeah.
For like the streets getting wide and stuff like that. We need to bring that back.
Oh,
if
to
we
never
don't
did
mind.
it.
Yeah.
Strategic plan.
Yeah, the fair play. We never, we need to bring that back.
That was my
Yep.
workshop.
But you out of there. Now I'm just playing.
I totally forgot about it. It just said, hey, it didn't happen and it moved off
I'm
my
just
radar.
messing with
so-
you. Yeah, I
Do you
forgot.
wanna add that?
No, I was mine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Establish a
gonna add
workshop.
Yeah, I wanna
Establish
add
a
it to
workshop
mine.
for.
I don't know if we need a future agenda item for that, we just need to
Yeah, pretty
set-
much.
set
Bring
it up.
back. Right,
Yeah.
right,
maybe talk about when that makes sense at some point.
right.
Keitra, just be sure that we get that on Erica's scheduling.
An agenda item to set a future workshop to discuss the master thoroughfare plan.
Right, right, right.
Two.
He did good today. He did good today.
So, discussion and possible action to, for the use of hotel motel funds. We talked
Yeah,
about
but-
today.
We already gonna discuss
He's
that.
gonna do some research.
I-
Find
So
a
what?
real answer.
Update,
He's gonna give us a real answer.
update.
Update
Yeah.
on the hotel motel situation.
And then,
Hold on. Okay, good.
and then we need the Fourth of July festival because,
First of all,
it's gonna come right after.
Oh, yeah,
right
that's
after
true.
the
Another
14th,
one.
And we don't wanna end up like it was last time.
Steph, you better get it.
Plan for
Get
4th of
fireworks. Can't get fireworks.
plan
Right.
for the 4th of
4th of
July.
July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Discussion and possible action, right? D/PA.
You guys got problems. I had a lot of people come. I know, I'm talking.
It's my turn. Richards only had one?
He had 2.
Oh, just two?
Eileen, cut it.
Citizens are
Eileen,
shocked.
cut it. Cut it, Eileen, cut
Okay.
it.
I say we move on.
Right,
Before
right.
you think of something.
Quickly.
Miss McDade?
Oh, yes.
1.
I have two.
1.
Okay, discuss and possible approve the removal of the frost tint off those office windows out there that's in there. If someone in there, something happens to them, have a heart attack or somehow, somebody know. Can't see nothing in there. So, yeah. Number 2. Discuss and possibly approve reorganization of some personnel positions.
Improve.
That's it.
Does that have to be executive session?
Doesn't have to be, I mean, that's probably a little more specificity, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
And the very last one, thank goodness, adjournment, 11.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?